my beloved child. Now, in the sacred stillness of this very moment, I am unveiling something you have never known before. Not through thunder or consuming fire, not through chaos or mighty noise, but through a gentle whisper deep and quiet, the whisper of your Father within your heart. Your spiritual ears are about to be opened in a way they never have before. You will no longer hear me merely with your intellect, but with a heart that longs and a soul that cries out. You may think you stumbled upon these words by chance, like a stray fragment in the vast ocean of information. But no, my child, this is not coincidence. This is not a meaningless moment in the chaotic timeline. This is an appointment, a divine appointment I set long before you were formed in your mother's womb. Every moment of your life rests in my hand. And now, this moment is where I touch you with an unchanging love, an unshockable truth, and a calling that cannot be ignored. I have seen you not only when you stood strong, but also in the long nights when tears fell in silence. I have walked with you through every season, even when you thought I was silent. And now I want you to know, I have never left you, not for a single second. I've always been there, patient, loving, waiting for your heart to grow quiet enough to hear something deeper than words, the sacred voice of your Father meant just for you. You've heard of me through stories, through books, through others. But now, I want you to hear me for yourself, not through a middleman, not through a veil, but through a direct encounter between father and child. Your ears will not only hear human words, but they will begin to discern the voice of heaven, the voice that is gentle yet powerful, calling you closer, deeper, and truer into my heart. This is a meeting not between a distant God and a small creation, but between a loving father and a beloved child. I have chosen this moment to speak with you because I know you need to hear something that transcends logic. I know your heart longs for affirmation, for direction, and most of all, for the assurance that you are not alone. And here is that assurance. My child, you are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not lost. You are being led. What I am revealing is not meant to burden you or bring fear, but to let you know that you are stepping into a new season of clearer hearing, deeper understanding, and faith-filled walking. You will begin to sense my presence more vividly. You will hear me in the smallest things, in a gentle breeze, in the morning light, in a familiar verse that suddenly comes alive. And you will know, I am speaking. I am here. Open your heart, my child. Do not close it out of fear or unhealed wounds. Let your ears be consecrated not just to hear, but to perceive. For every word I speak carries life, light, and healing. Every word I release is like rain that falls to the earth and never returns void. And I am sowing new seeds in your soul, seeds of faith, of hope, of restoration. Let them take root and bear fruit. You were not created to live in silence or be drowned in the noise of the world. You were made to hear and follow the call of heaven. And today, I say, come closer. Let me teach you to recognize my voice among the countless others. Let me show you how to discern what is true and what is false, what is life and what is death, what is from me and what is from the world. Beloved child, this encounter does not end when you stop reading. It has only just begun. From this moment, a new journey is unfolding, the journey of hearing, of walking, and of living in deep communion with me. I am training you to be one who listens not only for yourself, but to carry my word to others. Your ears will become more sensitive. Your mind will be renewed. and your heart will become a dwelling place for the living word. So remember, my child, you are not alone in this journey. I have met you here not by accident, but because of love, and that love will never stop. I will continue to speak. I will continue to lead, and your ears know sanctified will hear things you once missed. I love you. I see you, and I am speaking to you right in this very moment. My beloved child, the time has come. No more delay. No more breath held in long dark nights. No more silent sighs or unseen tears falling in the shadows. Today, I have come to tell you, your waiting season has drawn to a close. The time of silence, of unanswered questions, of hopes that seem to fall into the voidal of it, is being gathered by me, placed into this holy moment, to pour out something new, something never before seen. I have seen you wait not with bitterness or complaint, but with tear-soaked faith. I have heard your prayers not once, but again and again the whispered words in the night, the cries from the depths of despair, even the times you could only look up in silence, longing for the slightest sign to keep believing. And, my child, not one of your words has fallen to the ground. Every utterance, every plea, every call of Father has risen before my throne like a sweet fragrance. I have heard, and I have remembered, and now, I am not only hearing, I am responding, not in the way you expected, nor in the timing you imagined, but in my way, a way that will leave you awestruck, overwhelmed, and undone in my holy love. I am moving, right now, as you read these words, not distantly, not as a vague miracle, but something deeply personal, something meant just for you. It will reach the deepest parts of your soul where you've hidden pain, stored away tears, and even questioned your worth. I know you've wondered if you were forgotten, if your prayer was too small among so many, if maybe you weren't good enough. But no, my child, I do not measure by your worthiness. I measure by my love, a love that never changes, never weakens, never comes with conditions. And that love has stirred me to come to you, to hold you, to give what no one else could ever give. You've passed through dry seasons where your faith clung like roots to stone, where you lived not by feeling, but by surrender. And it was in those dry days that you grew silently. You matured without even realizing it. Now, I come not only to reward your faithfulness, but to show you that I have always been near, always listening, always preparing something far beyond what you could understand. What I am about to do will astonish you, not just because of its power, but because of how intimate, personal, and deep it is. You will see that I am not just a mighty God in the heavens, but a tender Father involved in every detail of your life. I don't just know your name, I know the dreams you let go of, the fears you've never spoken, and the wounds you thought had healed, but still ache in your lonely heart. And it is in those very places, those places that seemed dead, that I will cause life to flow. Beloved child, I am about to do what you cannot do on your own, what you cannot imagine, what you cannot force into being. Something from heaven beyond every structure and limitation will open before your eyes like a great door leading into fullness and glory. I will restore what was lost, give what you have never had, and make the old new again. Not because you were strong enough, but because you believed even when your faith was as fragile as a thread. Yet to me, even a flicker of light is enough to be called hope. One small step is enough to be called obedience. And I will take care of the rest, the miracle part. So prepare your heart, my beloved, not to strive, but to receive, not to question, but to trust. Believe that nothing you've endured has been meaningless. Not a single day of waiting was wasted. Not a single tear was in vain. Each of those things has paved the way for what is coming, a wonder, a gift from me. For you, my beloved child, the time has come for me to reveal myself to you in a whole new way, a way that will shatter every lingering doubt. Silence the quiet waves of fear that rise in your darkest hours, and dispel every anxiety that has secretly gnawed at your heart. You will no longer wonder if I am near, if I hear, if I care, if I act, for what I am about to do in your life will leave no room for doubt. You will know deeply, surely, and vividly that I am the Lord, your Father, the Almighty One who moves on your behalf. I do not come with empty promises, but with living power. I will show you that I am the God of the impossible, the one who parted the sea, the one who brings streams into the desert, and the very one who now steps into your life with transforming power. You once thought you were lost, that there was no way out, that every direction was closed. But it is precisely when you cannot see the path, when darkness surrounds, when human strength runs dry, that is when I create a way, a path not made by human hands, but opened by the power of heaven. And you will walk on that path, not by your strength, but by the abundant grace I give. Do you remember the broken pieces you tried to hide, the shattered dreams, the extinguished hopes, the wounds you thought had healed but still bleed when touched? I have seen them all, and none of it was in vain. I do not discard what is broken. I gather it, I cradle it, and I transform it in my hands. What were once wounds will become signs of healing. What once made you fall will become testimony of miraculous restoration. You will no longer be ashamed of what you've been through, for I will use those very things to write a new story, a story marked by my glory upon your life. Your pain will no longer be a dwelling place for despair, but a birthplace of purpose. I will turn every tear you've shed into seeds for the harvest ahead. What you once called failure, I will transform into wisdom. And from there, you will walk with a courage you never knew before, because you will no longer rely on your limited understanding, but will walk by my supernatural leading, the one who sees ahead, knows all, and always works for your good. I know you've grown weary from the battle. There have been days when you had just enough strength to breathe, but not enough to believe. But today I declare to you, the trial is not the end, it is the prelude to victory. I do not promise you an easy road, but I promise you will never walk alone. And the most wondrous truth is this: your victory was determined before you ever began the fight. Not because you were strong, but because I appointed the triumph for you. Not because you were always right, but because my love is always faithful. You will see me move not just in grand miracles, but in the smallest of things, in the light of a new dawn, in the encouragement from a stranger, in the quiet comfort that slips into your heart when you feel weakest. I am there, always there, and my presence will be your refuge in every circumstance. My peace will still every inner storm, and my love will heal even the most hidden corners of your heart. So open your heart wide, my child. Prepare to be astonished, for what I am about to do will exceed everything you have asked for or imagined. I do not come merely to add a little light to your darkness. I come to drive the night away completely. I do not come to repair the old you, but to make you a new creation, stronger, freer, and more filled with hope than ever before. Remember this: there is nothing too broken for me to heal, nothing too late for me to restart, and nothing too far for me to give. You were never meant to live in between or within limits. You were destined to step into fullness, fullness in love, in purpose, in communion with me. I come not only to rescue, but to transform, not only to lift you up, but to lead you to where you truly belong, a place of glory, of rest, where you know you are unconditionally loved, and nothing can ever separate you from that truth. My beloved, there will be times in your life when you cannot understand why things happen the way they do. You will find yourself standing at the crossroads, in the thick darkness of unanswered questions, feeling as though everything is against you. Dreams may seem to vanish. People you trusted may walk away. And what once felt secure may suddenly shake to the core. In such moments, when you cannot see the bigger picture, I know your heart wavers, trembles, and sometimes feels like letting go. But it is precisely then, my child, that I call you to walk by faith, not because everything is clear, but because I, your unchanging Father, am with you. Faith is not a fleeting feeling. It does not need light to move forward, nor explanations to stand firm. Faith is when you choose to trust me even when all you have to cling to is my promise. It is when you dare to step forward, though nothing ahead seems certain. It is when the enemy whispers lies like, God has forgotten you, and yet you rise, lift your head, and respond. But I know my Father is faithful. In the moments you feel weakest, faith becomes strongest not because you are capable, but because you dare to place your hand in mine, the one who never breaks his word. You will hear whispers that make you question your worth, your purpose, and even my love for you. The enemy is always working to plant doubt, twist the truth, and lure you into believing lies. He will try to convince you that my promises are too distant, that you've failed too much, that you no longer deserve anything good. But I say to you, I am the God of truth. Every word I speak carries life, and what I have promised, I will fulfill, not because you deserve it, but because my love is unconditional. You may not see the whole picture, but I am painting it with faithful hands. You see the fragments of failure yesterday, a tear today, a closed door, but I see the end. I see the glory that will rise from the very place you thought was your ending. You see faint brushstrokes, while I am creating a masterpiece. And as you trust me, you will see. The lines that once seemed meaningless will form a picture full of meaning, and your life will reflect the beauty of my loving guidance. My beloved, faith does not keep you from trials, but it carries you through them. It is the flickering flame when all else fades. It is the anchor that holds your soul steady in the sea of uncertainty. And that faith, even if it's as small as a mustard seed, is enough to move mountains, enough to open the heavens and pour down miracles. I do not require you to be perfectly strong, but I invite you to believe in just a little. Believe, even if your voice shakes, even if your tears fall, even if your heart still fears. For I do not seek perfection, I seek sincerity. Remember, my word is alive. Not a single word I speak returns void. If I have said that you will be restored, then nothing can hinder the healing. If I have promised that you will walk in fullness, then no circumstance can prevent that from happening. If I have called you a child of light, then darkness has no authority over you anymore. You only need to hold on to the promise, like one who carries a torch through the night, and walk one step at a time. The light will gradually appear. The path will become clear, and your heart will grow steadfast. Faith is also in the words you speak, the declarations made in the winter of your soul. When you say, "Father, you are faithful," the darkness must retreat. When you say, "I trust your word more than this circumstance," heaven begins to move. For words spoken in faith are powerful weapons. They push back lies and make way for truth. Do not wait until you feel like believing in order to believe. Just believe and your emotions will follow. For faith is not built on feelings, but on the one who never changes. So, my beloved child, hold on to your faith not because everything is clear, but because you know your Father never lies. Believe, even when chaos surrounds you. Believe, even when your heart trembles with exhaustion. Believe, for it is in faith that you will see my power displayed most clearly. I am the God of life. I am the God of promise. And I am your God yesterday, today, and forever unchanging. My beloved child, when you learn to hear my voice, not just with your natural ears, but with an open heart, a mind hungry for truth, and a soul ready to obey, you will begin to enter a whole new realm. In that place, you will find a peace the world cannot give and cannot take away. You will no longer be shaken by outer circumstances, by sudden changes, or by heavy trials. For within you, in the midst of life's storms, will rise my voice, gentle yet full of authority, whispered yet strong enough to hold you firm. You will find direction, no longer lost in confusion, no longer unsure of which path to take or what decision to make. I am your guide, and when you hear my voice, you will know where to step, even if you cannot see the whole path. The light I give will be enough for each step. I do not promise you a detailed map, but I do promise my presence day by day, hour by hour, moment by moment. You will find hope, not a fragile, fleeting hope, but a living, steadfast hope placed in me, the faithful one. When the world says, "There's nothing left to hope for," my voice will ignite within you a promise that says, "Good things are still coming, because I have already stepped into your tomorrow before you ever arrive." I am not bound by time or circumstance, and what I have appointed, no one can stop. You will find strength to keep going, not strength from your own efforts, but strength that flows from my abundant grace, strength to rise after every fall, to forgive after every hurt, to keep walking even when your legs are weary, to keep believing even when every sign seems to speak against it. When you hear my voice, you will realize you are not alone. And as long as you can still hear me, you still have hope. You still have reason to go on. You still have a future to step into. But, my child, what I long to do in you is not just about your ears. It's not merely about hearing a voice from afar. It's about total transformation. I want to touch every part of who you are, every hidden corner of your heart, every thought running through your mind, every bruise in your soul, every deep thirst in your spirit. I do not want to heal you partially, but completely. Not just that you hear what I say, but that you become one with my will and love. You are not merely the product of what you've been through. You are the reflection of the divine plan I have crafted from the beginning. Your past with all its pain, mistakes, and regrets does not diminish your value in my eyes. Your present, even if unsteady, tired, or confused, is not beyond my power. And your future, though not yet revealed, is fully held in the hands of the one who holds time itself. I have a plan not to harm you, not to punish or abandon you, but to give you true prosperity, not prosperity measured by temporary things, but the kind found in a soul that knows its worth in my eyes and lives fully in the purpose for which it was created. That plan is not just a destination, it's a journey of walking with me, growing in me, and being used for my glory. You were not created merely to survive, but to live meaningfully, not to hide from life, but to enter it with a clear mission. You carry within you a destiny, not one defined by man, but set by me, a destiny no one else can fulfill. I breathed my spirit into you, not so that you would chase empty things, but so that you would become a voice, a light, and a witness of my love in this world. Each day you live is an opportunity to uncover what I have placed within. And when you hear my voice, truly hear, you will be awakened. You will no longer live in survival mode, but in holy passion. You will no longer be led by fleeting emotions, but by divine direction. And in that place, you will see nothing is random. Every detail, even the smallest, has meaning in my eternal plan. So, my beloved child, open your heart, not just your ears, but your soul, your mind, your whole life. Let my voice touch you, steer you, renew you, because once you truly hear me, you will never be the same. You will become the person I have always seen in you, strong, full of hope, overflowing with life, and ready to walk into the destiny written from the beginning. My beloved child, even when you cannot see clearly, even when everything seems quiet, I am still moving. I am quietly orchestrating divine connections, relationships I have chosen to support you and bring you closer to the fulfillment of my good purpose. I am opening doors no one can shut, preparing opportunities that do not come by human effort, but by my kindness and faithfulness. Nothing in your life is by chance. Everything is being perfectly arranged by a loving hand, full of wisdom, and deeply familiar with the rhythm of your heart. You are not forgotten. You are not left behind. On the contrary, you are being positioned exactly where I will pour out blessings that have long been prepared. Maybe you do not see it yet, but you are drawing closer every day. And what makes all of this real and certain is not that you are good enough, strong enough, or worthy enough. It is one thing alone: I love you. That love does not shift with your emotions, does not falter with your failures, and does not withdraw when you doubt. My love for you is the surest foundation in every circumstance, the reason I act for you, protect you, lift you up, and lead you forward. You are my child. Every day you live, I watch over you. Every sigh you release, I hear. And whenever you feel too weary, too alone, I want you to remember, you never face anything alone. I do not stand at a distance while you struggle. I am with you even in the darkest moments. When you cannot speak, when you feel lost, I am your strength in the moments you are weakest. Not so that you must endure by force, but so that you know you can fall into my arms and still be safe. When you worry, I am your peace. Not the fragile kind the world promises, but peace that surpasses all understanding, peace that reigns in your heart even when storms rage around you. When you feel hopeless, I am your hope. Not a vague wish, but a living hope built on promises that cannot fail, on a nature that cannot lie. It is precisely when you see no way out that I will make a way. It is in the barren wilderness that I will cause water to spring forth. I am your provider, not only for material things, but for your spirit, emotions, and the meaning of your life. I know everything you need, even before you find the words to pray. I have already prepared, and what I give always arrives at the right moment, in the right measure, in the right way, not too early, so you rely on your own strength, not too late, so you fall into despair, but just in time, so you know it is a heavenly intervention. I am your healer, not just of visible wounds, but of soul fractures no one else sees. I do not heal temporarily. I restore completely, even the broken pieces you wish to hide away. I can use to create something beautiful. I am your protector not only when you ask for it, but even when you are unaware. Countless times, the enemy schemed to harm you, but I stood in front of you as your shield. Many traps were laid, yet I stopped them before you ever stepped near. I am also your guide in every decision, in every season of your life. Wherever you are, whatever you do, you are never beyond my sight. Just keep listening. Just keep walking. And I will show you the way, not to let you lose direction, but so you may live in fullness. Do not be afraid, my child. No matter how great the trials, no matter how towering the mountains before you, do not let them discourage you. For the one who dwells within you is greater than anything that stands against you. Do not let your circumstances blur the truth. Do not let fear take hold of your heart. Close your eyes and remember this. You are in my hands, the safest place you could ever be. And in my hands, there is no such thing as hopelessness, no beginning too late, and no door that stays shut forever. You do not need to understand everything. You only need to believe that I will never disappoint you. And when you hold on to that truth, you will see each of your steps is not aimless, but is leading to greater things I have prepared for you. You will witness connections forming, doors swinging wide open, and the impossible becoming possible by your strength, but by my unchanging love and faithfulness. Stand firm, my beloved. Lift your head high. Live as one who knows they are loved, chosen, protected, and guided. For that is the unshakable truth. I am your everything, and I will never fail you. My beloved child, listen to my voice in this moment. For what I am about to reveal to you is not merely an abstract idea, it is a living truth. A power that can change the entire course of your life. Perhaps you have thought that everything in life is already set in stone, that the moments of your life, the doors that open or close, the opportunities that come and go are all fixed, unchangeable events. But I want you to know something deeper, something more sacred. Those moments are not immovable milestones. They are not imprisoned within a rigid fate. On the contrary, they can be shifted, accelerated, even transformed through your prayers, your sincere faith, and your trusting obedience toward me. Do you understand? My child, this is the divine mystery I have entrusted to humanity, the ability to co-labor with the Creator in writing the story of your life. I did not make you to be a spectator, merely waiting for something to happen from the outside. I formed you with a soul capable of communion with me, with a heart that can feel, and with a voice that can reach heaven. And prayer is that sacred bridge, the unbreakable cord between you and me. Never think of prayer as just a religious duty, something to check off to avoid guilt. No, my precious one. Prayer is an intimate conversation between father and child, between the Eternal One and a small yet infinitely precious soul. Every word you whisper in silence, every tear that falls in the night, every groan too deep for words, they are all remembered by me. No prayer is wasted. Not a single breath you lift to me with sincerity goes unnoticed in heaven. When you pray, you enter sacred ground where the laws of heaven are brought down to earth. You are unlocking the gates of heaven where grace, healing, divine intervention, and miracles await to be poured out. When you offer your prayers not just with your lips, but with your whole heart, you are placing your hand into mine and partnering with me to shift history, not only the history of the world, but the very story of your life. Do you know why certain things in your life are beginning to change even now? It is not because circumstances randomly improved. It is not because someone suddenly decided to help you. It is because I am responding to your prayers. I hear every cry, even the ones you thought vanished into silence. And it is in your trust, in your obedience, when you keep praying without yet seeing the result, when you still believe, though all seems quiet, that my power is revealed most clearly and mightily. Prayer not only connects you to me, but it is also a mighty weapon against the enemy. Every lie, every fear, every spiritual chain the enemy tries to place upon you will crumble when you enter my presence through prayer. Prayer is the place where you rediscover your true identity as a child of the Almighty, not a victim of circumstances. It is where you are reminded that you do not fight alone, but with the backing and strength of heaven. My beloved child, your prayers carry the power to shift the timing of events. Some things that were meant to occur far in the future can be drawn closer through your faith and fervency, and some hardships that could have lasted longer have been shortened because you cried out to me. That is not a scattered miracle, it is the principle of my kingdom. Whoever asks shall receive. Whoever seeks shall find. And whoever knocks, to them the door shall be opened. You are never too small to be heard, never too weak to bring change. On the contrary, it is in those moments when you come near me in simplicity through prayer that you touch the greatest of all things, my heart. And when my heart is moved, every human limitation is shattered. Every wall comes crashing down, and destinies once thought immovable begin to shift. Keep praying, my child. Do not give up. Do not let the silence make you doubt. Remember this, silence does not mean my absence. It may simply be the moment when I am working in quietness, preparing, arranging, and perfecting things you cannot yet see. But the time will come when the prayers you whispered through tears will become a public joy. And you will see, not one of your prayers has been wasted. Every single one has been rising like fragrant incense sand in my appointed time. They will burst forth into miracles. My beloved child, right now, in this sacred moment, I come to you not with thunderous noise or dazzling signs, but with a gentleness so deep it can pierce through to the innermost parts of your soul, the very place where you've quietly endured, where you've pressed forward under weight, where you thought no one could understand the pain that resides within. But I am here. I've always been here. And now, I want you to know something sacred and alive. I am healing you. Not only your body, though. I see every pain, every limitation that tires you. I am reaching deeper, to the places where wounds don't show on your skin, but have made your heart heavy. I am healing your heart, the heart that once loved, once lost, once was broken, and once wanted to shut down so it wouldn't hurt again. I am soothing the invisible fractures, drying the tears no one understood. But I go even further. I am healing your mind, the place that's been flooded with negative words, haunted by memories, weighed down by nameless fears and doubts. I know there have been nights you couldn't sleep, not because your body hurt, but because your mind kept spinning with questions that had no answers. I am giving you a new peace, a peace not based on circumstances but flowing from my very presence. A peace that causes every inner storm to grow still. Your soul and your spirit are also being restored. The parts that seem to have grown cold, lost their fire, stopped, expecting now. I breathe new life into them. You will live again. Not just survive, but live powerfully, gracefully, in full alignment with your identity as a child of the Most High. I did not create you to merely exist in weariness. I created you to rise like a phoenix from the ashes, carrying the beauty of a soul touched by divine love. My child, I am healing even what you thought was beyond reach, relationships that have fractured, affections that once bloomed beautifully, but now lie in distance and hurt. I am pouring oil into those places, not to force reconnection, but to soften hearts, to make forgiveness flow, and to let reconciliation take root. You don't have to struggle alone. Let me be the one who restores what you cannot mend. Even the financial worries, the daily pressures that tighten your chest, I see it all. You've tried to calculate, hesitated with every expense, felt ashamed for not being able to provide the way you long to. But my child, I am your provider, not just of money, but of wisdom, direction, and unexpected opportunities. You will not lack, for I am the God of abundance. I don't provide merely for survival. I provide so you may live fully, with the dignity I've placed within you. And I am healing your circumstances, the places you live, the places you work, the environments where you feel like you don't belong. I am shifting atmospheres, softening hearts, opening doors you cannot open yourself. Do not fear the changes. Sometimes, chaos is simply the turning of the page before the new chapter begins. I am doing something new, and it is better than anything you've imagined. Not just your present, but your past and future are resting in my healing hands. The past with its regrets and unspoken shame I am forgiving, erasing, and turning into wisdom. The present with its pressure, confusion, and emotional clutter I am bringing into order. And the future with its unknowns and fragile dreams I am writing with mercy, with a plan filled with hope and blessing. My dear one, no part of you is too small for my concern. No area of your life is too tangled for my intervention. I am healing every part of you, from your body to your soul, from the visible to the hidden, every corner, every broken place, every shadowed room once locked by fear or despair. Now I am unlocking, restoring, and renewing in the light of my love. Let me do it. Don't hide anymore. Don't carry it all on your own. You don't have to be strong in front of me. You only need to be honest, to open your heart, and allow me to do my work. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are not too complicated to be loved. In fact, you are being loved with a depth and perseverance that can heal anything. I am working right now, not tomorrow, not in some distant future, but in this very moment, because I love you, and I will not stop until you are fully restored. My beloved child, right now, in this very moment, whether you are weeping, hoping, or simply moving quietly through what seems like an ordinary day, I am doing something in your life that is anything but ordinary. Do not be deceived by the stillness around you, for in the spiritual realm, a shift is taking place. This is not something small or temporary. This is healing I am bringing, boundless, deep, and complete. It reaches into the innermost parts of your soul, into the places marked by hidden wounds, the unspoken pains, the weariness that once made you want to let go. You have prayed. You have waited. You have trusted even on days when that trust was but a faint flicker in the darkness. And now, I say to you, the answer is coming. The miracle you have longed for is no longer distant, no longer a maybe or a someday. It is present there and now, not in the way you may have imagined, but in the perfect way only I could design. This is the breakthrough. I am opening not a barely cracked door, but a wide gate into a new season of abundant life, of true freedom, of deep restoration. This breakthrough is not confined to just one area of your life. It is total. It is a divine intervention that touches every part of you. It transcends the old limitations you once believed were permanent. It shatters chains you thought could never be broken. It rekindles hope in the very places you thought it had died. Yes, it may include physical healing, and I fully have the power to do that. Every cell in your body is under my command. He formed your body, and I am restoring it. But, my child, what I am doing goes far beyond that. It is healing at the root where your soul was wounded, where your heart was once imprisoned by sorrow, where your spirit grew tired from silent endurance over the years. Yes, I am also moving in your finances. But what I am releasing is not just temporary relief from pressure or lack. I am realigning the structure of your life so that you will know your provision does not come from a job, from others, or from numbers. It comes from me, the one who never runs dry. You will not only be delivered from hardship, but you will be equipped to become a giver-own who lives generously and abundantly, not because you have excess, but because you know who your true source is. And yes, I am restoring relationships. But this restoration is not just about people talking again. It is the healing of trust, of forgiveness, of emotions that were once suppressed, rejected, or wounded. I am laying new foundation stones in your connections with your family, with friends, and even with yourself. The most important relationship I am restoring is between you and Meso, that you no longer doubt my love, no longer run or keep your distance because of shame or fear. The healing I bring is like a gentle breeze across a dry field, soothing every crack. It is like cool water flowing through a burning desert, reviving what seemed lifeless. It is like the first morning light after a long night of darkness, not only illuminating, but warming, awakening the hope that has slept inside your heart. My dear child, breakthrough does not always come with thunder or loud changes. Sometimes it arrives as a peace you cannot explain, even when the storm has not yet ended. Sometimes it comes when you dare to forgive yourself, when you believe again that you are worthy of love, of healing, of moving forward. And sometimes it comes when you stop striving and begin to rest in my embrace, realizing that you no longer need to prove anything. You only need to be present and let me do what I have promised. This is the new life I am giving you, a life no longer bound by the past, no longer limited by failures, no longer torn apart by fear or despair. You will not merely be restored, you will be renewed, not just drawn out of your wounds, but drawn into your destiny, not just pulled from the pit, but lifted to a place higher than you ever imagined. I am doing this not because I have to, but because I love you, with a love that does not waver, does not hesitate, and does not calculate. A love that acts, that remains present, that commits fully. And it is this love that is behind every miracle, every healing, and every door that opens in your life today. Believe it, receive it, step into it, because the miracle has already begun. And I will finish what I have started. My beloved child, I long to see you walk in fullness, not as a vague hope or distant dream, but as a living reality built upon my love, grace, and power. I did not create you merely to survive, to strive, or to live beneath your calling. I created you to live abundantly, to be loved, to be healed, to be set free, and to be filled. You were not made to live in emotional lack, unhealed wounds, or the shadows of the past. You were made to live in freedom, true freedom that comes from me, that no one can give and no one can take away. You have carried burdens that were never yours to bear. You have tried to mend what was broken with your own strength. You have searched for answers in the noise, in the rush, in relentless striving, only to find that things began to change when you finally paused and listened for my voice. I am calling you not to do more, but to become who you truly are in my eyes, anointed, chosen, loved, and called for a higher purpose. The healing I bring is not only for physical wounds, it goes deeper into the hidden places you thought no one could ever understand. The inner pain, the lingering disappointments, the dreams you buried out of fear of hoping again. I am coming to say to you, my child, it's time to live again. I am drawing you out of the land of doubt and placing you in the place where true healing begins. But you must choose to walk with me. Miracles cannot be forced. They require the partnership of faith. This is your moment, my dear one. Not tomorrow, not when you feel more ready, not when everything is perfect, but right now. This is the time I have chosen to restore you, to raise you up, and to fill you with what I have long prepared. This is not just another phase in your life. This is a season of transition, a season of breakthrough where old limitations will be pushed back, a season of miracles where what once seemed impossible will become reality, a season of healing where what was shattered will be made new in my unshakable love. But you must be careful. Miracles can be stolen not by circumstances, but by doubt, by allowing the voice of fear to drown out my voice, by letting distraction drain the time meant for divine communion. My child, do not let what I am doing in the unseen realm be disrupted by what is temporary. Keep your heart awake. Keep your eyes fixed on me. Do not return to what I have already delivered you from. Do not let familiarity pull you away from the new land I am opening before you. Remain with me, not only when you feel the need, but also when you think you don't. Abiding is a decision every day, every hour, every moment. Stay in my love, in my teaching, in my truth, for there you will bear fruit. Focus not on what you lack, but on what I am doing. Focus not to control, but to trust. For faith is the eye that sees the invisible, that beholds what you cannot yet touch. Be faithful not because you are always strong, but because you trust in my faithfulness. Faithfulness does not mean never falling, it means always returning. It is not perfection, it is consistency. You do not need to know everything to obey. You only need to know that I am good. And what I begin, I will complete. Don't wait until you feel worthy, for in your weakness, I will be strong within you. You do not walk alone. Every step you take, I am there. When you don't see me, I am lifting you. When you don't hear me, I am still working. When you are weary, I am your strength. When you have no words left to pray, I am still listening. You are never left behind, never forgotten, never abandoned in the midst of an unfinished journey. You are my workmanship, and I never do anything halfway. So, My beloved, step in. Don't just stand on the threshold of what I am doing. Step in fully. Step into healing. Step into freedom. Step into victory. This is your season, and I, your Father, am making the way. My beloved child, I have heard your voice and know merely the words spoken aloud, but the silent sighs rising from the depths of your soul. I have seen every subtle movement of your here-teach regret, each hidden tear, and the genuine longing to return. There is nothing you can hide from me, and there is nothing I am unwilling to forgive when you open your heart in truth. And today, when you bravely speak words of repentance, when you choose to lay down all that once stood between us, I am here not with eyes of reproach, but with arms wide open and a heart overflowing with love. You have been distracted, and I know that. Not because you are careless, but because this world is filled with noise that tries to pull you away from peace. Voices fight for your attention, fear, the expectations of others, the burden of achievement, and even the unspoken worries you cannot name. Slowly, you drifted from stillness. You stopped recognizing my voice amidst the clamor, and your heart, once light in my presence, grew heavy with things that were never meant for you. But now, as you return, I do not count your faults. I do not build walls, and I do not require you to prove yourself. I only ask for your heart honest, tender, and surrendered. When you confess that you once ignored my call, I am not angry. On the contrary, I am moved, because your repentance is not just a religious act, it is the bell that awakens life within a weary soul. You were never forsaken, you were momentarily lost. And now, I bring you home. I see your courage in letting go of what once dimmed the light in your soul, unseen idols, perhaps fame, control, unhealthy relationships, or even your own fears. I see how you have released them, not because you are strong, but because you are beginning to realize that nothing in this world can replace me or fill the space reserved for my presence alone. And it is in that moment when you cry out, "Cleanse me, renew me. Let nothing separate me from you," that heaven rejoices. Because one soul returning is a victory no earthly measure can contain. The blood of the Lamb does not only erase sin, it restores worth. It does not merely cleanse the past, it empowers you to walk in the present and future with confidence. My beloved, I do not seek perfection. I seek truth. And the truth you have just offered, the truth that you were once lost, once turned away, once broken, is the very key that unlocks the path to healing. I never turn away a contrite heart, a soul that truly repents. On the contrary, it is in moments like these that you will most deeply feel my love, the kind of love that does not retreat when you are weak, that remains unconditional when you fall, and that never fades no matter how far you've wandered. Let me cleanse you not just outwardly, but from within, from the root of the wounds, the memories, the shame you have long hidden. Let me renew your mind, so that you are no longer drawn by falsehood, no longer defined by the past, but begin to live as one who is forgiven, redeemed, and anointed for a greater purpose. I want you to know this. My child, nothing can separate you from me when you return with your whole heart. No past is too dark for my light to reach. No stain is too deep for the blood of the Lamb to cleanse. No distance is too far for my love to cross. When you choose to lay down distraction, to stop listening to the voices around you, and to turn your ear toward mine, that is the moment you begin to truly live. From this moment on, you no longer need to live in shame or fear. You are no longer one who missed their chance. You are one who has been redeemed. You are no longer one who hesitated when I called. You are one who now walks hand in hand with me. And as you continue to keep your heart tender, your eyes fixed on me, no force, whether from within or without, can steal the peace I have given you. So walk, my child, not with burdens, but with the lightness of a soul set free. Live not in the fear of doing wrong, but in the joy of being loved without condition. Keep your heart turned toward Mephor. You need nothing more than my presence, and I desire nothing more than you, my beloved child. I have heard your prayers, not just the ones spoken aloud, but the silent hopes within your heart, the hidden longings you've never shared with anyone, and the quiet tears that have fallen when it seemed like everything was taking too long. I see the weariness in your soul as you wait for the promise to be fulfilled, and in that very moment, when you lift your eyes and whisper, Lord, I ask for divine acceleration, not only do I hear, but I begin to move. My child, your waiting has not been in vain. Every moment of your perseverance, every time you chose to believe in the darkness, is remembered by me. But now, as you open your mouth to pray for an acceleration from heaven, you are revealing a faith not bound by circumstances. You are declaring that you believe I can do the miraculous not just in your timing, but in mine, which is perfect and complete. And believe this, delay does not mean denial. The blessings that once seemed withheld are not delayed because I forgot you, but because I was preparing you for something greater than you could imagine. But now, as you offer this bold prayer, when you say, Yes, Lord, let it be unto me, according to your word, you have aligned your heart with my will, and that alignment causes heaven to move. It is the moment when I choose to shorten the distance between the promise and its fulfillment, not to momentarily please you, but to reveal that I am the God who keeps his word, who forgets not a single thing I have spoken. You will witness doors open suddenly. Dreams you thought had faded into the past will come alive again. Divine connections will appear at just the right time, and what was once delayed will be released in a supernatural way. You may have thought that something was standing in the way, that maybe you weren't good enough, not worthy enough, or that the plan was no longer meant for you. But today, I want you to know, no force can stop what I have ordained. When you align your heart with my will, every wall must come down, every chain must break, and every promise will begin to sprout. You no longer have to carve the path alone. I am the one clearing the way. I delight when I see you not only asking for what your heart desires, but bowing before my timing and my purposes. When you say, I align with your timing, Lord, it is the evidence of a heart refined through waiting, of faith not built on emotions, but grounded in my unchanging nature. And that very surrender, that sacred yes, is what unlocks the miraculous. Be ready, for I am accelerating your steps. What once took years will happen in moments. Roads that seemed forever blocked will suddenly be opened. Spiritual winters will give way to springs of grace. The acceleration you've prayed for will not only transform your circumstances, it will awaken something new within you, a swiftness in spirit, a sharpness of mind, and a flexibility in obedience. Do not fear the shift. Do not let the quickness disorient you. I will not take you anywhere my grace cannot sustain you. In every step, you will still be guided, protected, and upheld. Divine acceleration does not wear you out, it lifts you higher, takes you farther, and moves you faster. because I am the wind beneath your wings. My beloved child, this is your hour of transition. This is the moment when you will see me do what once seemed impossible. But remember, the most precious part of this journey is not merely the fulfillment of the promise, but the deepening of your relationship with me through it. I don't just want you to receive the miracle, I want you to know me more, trust me more, and love me more. So keep your heart tender. Keep saying, yes, Lord. Live with expectation. Prepare as if what you prayed for is already arriving, because it is. The blessing is no longer delayed. The promise is being released. The door is opening. And you, my child, are standing at the threshold of a new season. I am never late. And when I come with full power, full love, and full faithfulness. The acceleration you have been praying for is now in motion, not by your strength, but by my grace. Open your heart. Beloved, be ready to receive. Amen. As a child of God, you are never alone. I am always beside you in every moment, constantly reminding you to live in faith and in the assurance of my love. Follow and turn on notifications so you will never miss a word I speak from heaven. Amen.